In a world where every thought and action is monitored, what happens when a man slips through the cracks? What happens when the very system meant to protect society is exposed as nothing more than a cold, lifeless machine? Shogo Makishima isn't just the villain of Psycho-Pass. He's the philosophical force that challenges the very foundation of the world we live in. He's the anarchist, the philosopher, and perhaps the only truly free person in a world that has long since lost its freedom. Shogo Makishima is the primary antagonist of Psycho-Pass Season 1. With his hauntingly serene smile and silver hair, he's more than just a physical presence. He's an idea. While the world around him bends to the will of the Sibyl System, a vast AI network that quantifies human emotion and determines criminal potential, Makishima exists in opposition to it. His Psycho-Pass? It's practically non-existent, unreadable, untraceable, and most importantly, unbroken by the Sibyl System's rigid monitoring. This means Makishima can commit acts of violence and manipulation without ever being flagged.
I'm going to stand next to this woman named Yuki Funahara, and I'm going to kill her. Right before your eyes.
Crime coefficient 48. No enforcement action required. Trigger will remain locked.
A terrifying advantage that allows him to expose the system's most glaring flaw. It cannot truly measure the depths of human complexity, but Makishima doesn't simply want power or control. He wants to dismantle the very infrastructure of society, the very idea of a utopia that's nothing more than a glorified prison. A lover of classic literature, Makishima weaves words from authors like Orwell, Philip K. Dick, and Shakespeare into his speeches, not for sophistication, but as a tool to dissect the reality he finds himself in. Through these works, he draws a parallel between the totalitarian dystopia of 1984 and the technocratic surveillance state of Psycho-Pass. To him, the world is an illusion, a shallow version of human existence where emotion is measured and free will is crushed under the weight of data. Makishima's philosophy is deceptively simple. True freedom can only exist when individuals are free to think and act without being reduced to mere statistics. The Sibyl System, with its promise of safety and order, strips humanity of its essence. It controls the very soul of society, forcing everyone to conform to a set of predetermined values, erasing individuality in favor of stability. For Makishima, this is not a world of stability, it's a world of stagnation. A world where people no longer make choices, they simply react. Where passion is reduced to data points and the beauty of human complexity is lost to algorithms. His belief in the power of human free will is rooted in existential philosophy. He's not just rebelling against the Sibyl System, he's rebelling against the very concept of control that has stifled human evolution for centuries. He uses the literary works of Orwell, Dick, and others not just as cultural touchstones, but as a way to challenge the very nature of society. 1984 highlights the dangers of mass surveillance, and Dick's work often explores the fragility of reality, both of which resonate with Makishima's view that the world's reliance on Sibyl's absolute control is a kind of death for humanity's soul. In one of Makishima's most telling acts, he manipulates an ordinary man, a farmer, into using a drone to kill his neighbor. This murder, in the eyes of the Sibyl System, is meaningless. The system does not see the victim as a threat, so it fails to intervene. This scene is Makishima's argument laid bare. The system is not concerned with preserving life. It's concerned only with maintaining order. This single act exposes the cold and inhuman nature of the Sibyl System. It's not a protector, it's a machine, blind to the nuances of humanity. In a chilling moment of confrontation, Makishima faces the Sibyl System directly. They offer him a position within the collective mind, an invitation to be part of the very system he has spent his life trying to destroy. But Makishima rejects this offer with disgust. Why? Because for him, survival within a corrupt system isn't freedom, it's slavery. He knows that true freedom cannot be granted by a system that controls every aspect of human existence. In the final confrontation between Makishima and Kogami, the battle takes place far away from the prying eyes of Sibyl. It's a moment of raw human freedom, no dominators, no surveillance, no algorithmic control. Just two men driven by their own choices. In the end, Kogami kills Makishima, but in doing so, he becomes a symbol of Makishima's victory. Kogami, too, has stepped outside the bounds of Sibyl's control, choosing to act based on personal conviction rather than a system of rules. In a way, Makishima has achieved exactly what he wanted, the moment where humanity's true freedom is realized. Shogo Makishima is not a traditional villain. He's a philosopher and an iconoclast, exposing the fragility of a world that believes it can control everything. He's a mirror reflecting the flaws of a society that prizes stability over freedom, safety over individuality. And in a world obsessed with the idea of a perfect, crime-free existence, Makishima asks, at what cost? Makishima's legacy as one of anime's most intriguing antagonists stands alongside figures like Light Yagami from Death Note and Johann Liebert from Monster. But what sets him apart is that his goal is not destruction for its own sake. He doesn't want to break the system, he wants to make humanity truly free. In that sense, Makishima is both villain and savior, pushing us to confront uncomfortable truths about the systems we take for granted. So was Shogo Makishima truly a villain? Or was he simply the only one awake in a society that has long since fallen asleep? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit like if you enjoyed the analysis, and subscribe for more deep dives into the minds of anime's most complex characters.